This is Dr. David Seftel for Macular News ARVO 2015. And we're here with Dr. Frank Werblin. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, David.
First of all, tell us a bit about your background at Berkeley.
Well, I've been a professor of neuroscience at Berkeley for the last 40 years, and my work has been in visual neuroscience. I'm one of the pioneers in the development of visual neuroscience, and I discovered how most of the neurons in the retina actually work. More recently, I've been interested in developing a device to help the low vision community with mobility.
So, Professor, tell us about some of your early work that led you to develop the current approach.
Most of my early work actually wasn't involved in low vision at all, but more in higher level visual neuroscience, trying to understand how the neurons in the retina actually interact to generate the visual message. This is a quite different field from what we're talking about today, which is low vision. So I lived in this ivory tower for the last 40 years or so, and became interested in providing some aid for the low vision community, trying to use my background in understanding vision to do something that was more practical, more useful.
So tell us about the paradigm and the product that you have developed.
The challenge in low vision is to provide mobility to the low vision patient. There are many devices that are available for static low vision augmentation. You can read newspapers with a magnifier, watch television, play video games with devices that simply magnify the size of whatever it is you want to be looking at. But if you're trying to move through the visual world, you can't move through a world that's magnified. You become disoriented, fall over, trip down the stairs, or become terribly nauseated. So what the challenge is to find a way for the low vision patient to move through the world in an environment that is at one-to-one with the normal environment, but find a way to magnify a small region within that world, the region of interest. And that's what we've developed electronically. So what you see when you look through our device is the world just as it is normally, but some small region, the region of interest, the region where you want to identify that object on the supermarket shelf, or you want to look at the expression on your grandchild's face, or you want to see your neighbor walking down the street, or read a road sign. That's the region that will be expanded and that you can view. So you live in the context of a normally sized world, but you can expand the world, the region that you want to focus on.
So what are the components of this solution?
The components of the solution are incredibly complex. They involve the complexity of a smartphone, which has all of its remarkable features: camera, processor, display. And it involves a very sophisticated device made by Samsung called a gear, into which the smartphone will fit. These two devices together were designed for the gaming community. The gamers love this device. You put them together and you see a three-dimensional view of the world, and you can begin to play all of your games. This is for people who are under 25 years old. It's tremendously complex and very, very effective. What we've done is to develop an app that goes on this phone that can be used not by the gaming community, but by the low vision community. You take the phone, you insert it into this device called the gear, and you have a low vision device. This device in itself is so complex that it makes low vision mobility simple.
Now tell us about the application that you've developed and what its implications and capabilities are.
Maybe the best way to do that is to show you what the app actually looks like on the phone. So I'm opening that up now. Step one will be to open the app, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm looking at it here. And then I would insert this smartphone into the Oculus Samsung Gear like this. And I would be looking through it this way. And then that way the world would be available to me at 90 degrees, and I would be seeing the magnified bubble within that field of view. Two of these or one? Be better to
So
see.
lead us through what you're looking at right now.
So what you're looking at right now is the overall world in a one-to-one magnification, but in the middle is a bubble, a magnified bubble. And you can see that bubble move around to different objects in the room, are the ones that I want to identify. So right now I have that bubble focused on my wife who's sitting across the room, and I can see her much more clearly in the bubble than I could if she were in, for example, at a peripheral region like that. So if I were a low vision patient and I wanted to expand the region and I wanted to find my wife, I could put her right in the middle of the bubble like that, and there she would be, and I can see her much more clearly. So that's the essence of the technology just there. I can't show you how this looks in this device, but essentially it's the same thing. Okay. Expanded. Right.
So, Professor, what is your vision for this visionary approach?
My vision for this visionary approach is to make this device available to as many people in the low vision community as possible. One of the remarkable advantages of this system is that it involves no new technology. You buy a smartphone, a couple $100. You buy this Oculus device, a couple $100. You install the app on the phone, and you have a fully functional low vision device for under $500. This compares to other devices that are on the market that I believe are far inferior to this, that sell for the order of $15,000. Just as Oculus Rift disrupted the gaming community market by coming out with a device that costs $300 versus $10,000, these devices will disrupt the low vision mobility market in the same way, by reducing the price tremendously and increasing performance.
Do you intend to also do studies of how people use it, efficacy, the impact on their lives, on their social interactions, etc.?
I think this is a very important question. Lacking mobility for low vision people drastically affects the quality of life. And this is one of the great advantages that we hope this will be able to offer. We presently have this operational and testing in Bob Massoff's low vision clinic in Baltimore. And we hope, as a first distribution, to get it into many low vision clinics throughout the country for testing, evaluation, to discover just what properties of this system are most beneficial to the patient. One of the beauties of this system is that the phone itself has Wi-Fi, so we can modify the app on this in minutes. Everybody who owns one of these can have a new app within seconds through Wi-Fi. So this is completely modifiable, and we will continually update it with the newest advances in smartphone technology available for the low vision community.
But tell us about the way in which users currently track the object that they want to look at, and what you look at potentially developing in the future.
Our users, are you talking about?
You mentioned earlier about how an individual fixates on a point
Yes.
that they want to look at.
Yes.
Talk about how it's done currently and other ways in which to do it, the FPV.
Yeah. Well, there are no current ways of doing it other than to magnify the entire visual world, which is terribly disorienting. Yeah. So this device offers the advantage that we can keep the overall world in one-to-one contact and just expand the region of interest.
Now, is that magnification variable with the app?
All of the parameters here are variable, easily variable. We can change the size of the magnification, change the size of the bubble, change contrast, change ambient level, and change the position of the bubble within the field as well. There's one level of sophistication beyond this that we're working on right now. At this point, the position of the bubble is controlled by head movement, which is slightly unnatural. The natural way to control what you want to look at is simply by moving your eyes. We're developing an eye tracking system where the bubble will actually be moved by eye position. And that's probably a more effective way to use this. But right now, all we have available is the gear, which doesn't contain an eye tracker. The way modern technology is developing, though, if you're looking for an advance, all you have to do is wait 6 months. The gamers who use this device are all interested in having an eye tracker as well. The way the gamer uses the eye tracker is that with his eye, he looks at the tank, he pushes a button, and it blows up. So we know that the gaming community wants an eye tracker built into this device. In 6 months, there'll be an eye tracker, and we will implement that eye tracker for our low vision device as well.
I think this is an absolutely extraordinary innovation, an extraordinary confluence, bringing together existing hardware into an application that is desperately needed out in the field. Do you have any idea of the numbers of low vision individuals that could benefit from this?
Yeah. Well, there are of the order of 5 million low vision patients in this country, and of those, perhaps half could benefit from this. Yes. So there are actually millions of people who can benefit, and worldwide the number is at least 10 times that, 50 million. We've talked to people in China and in India where the numbers are just enormous. Right. And the fact that we can make this available at a very, very low price means that it can be accessible to people in third world countries as well. So there's a tremendous market for this, and we should be able to help literally millions of people with these technologies.
Going back to your experience as a neurobiologist, one of the recurring themes at this conference has been still trying to figure out what happens between the bipolar cells and the photoreceptors. Do you have any comments on where the people are going and what still needs to be done?
There's a tremendous amount of work that's going on in just that area, the region between bipolar cells and photoreceptors. In fact, I've worked in that field for many, many years. Yeah, and I think the work is becoming tremendously sophisticated. The people who work in that field are brilliant, dedicated, and doing wonderful, wonderful work and making great progress there.
Specifically, people are looking at regenerative modalities. Yeah. To try and fix the problem of that synapse.
Yes.
And do you think that would offer patients some promise within 5 years, within 10 years?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about now, which is the retinal prosthetics, a way of creating vision for the blind. And I actually have worked in that field extensively. In fact, I and with some other groups have some patents on some of those developments, putting chips in the retina to provide vision for blind people. The difference between that field of study, which is tremendously sophisticated, very expensive, and requires teamwork from dozens of very, very talented people, and what I'm talking about is dramatic, because this technology is very simple, very inexpensive, and accessible to millions of people. Only very few people are going to allow their eyes to be invaded with a chip or affected by genetic manipulation. I think those techniques are beautiful, very highly sophisticated, but not accessible to that many people because of the cost, for one, and the invasiveness of the technology. This is a non-invasive technology, very inexpensive, available to millions of low vision patients.
Professor, thank you so much for bringing this incredible innovation into the lives of so many people that really need it.
Thank you so much, David. It's been a pleasure talking with you.